What's up, you guys? My name is Aubrey and this is my channel, and today I want to talk about the $10,000 EIDL grant, because the fact of the matter is there is a ton, and I mean a ton, of misinformation going around on this grant and whether or not it is a guaranteed $10,000. So in this video, I'm going to be breaking down whether or not this guaranteed statement that so many YouTubers are making is actually true and really what this means for you. So let's get started. So I hope you guys are having a wonderful weekend, a wonderful Sunday before everyone returns to their normal life and their normal work schedule tomorrow on Monday. And today I really wanted to address an important issue before we enter the new week, and that is the discussion of the EIDL grant and whether or not it's actually guaranteed. You see, just about 1 week ago, lawmakers passed a $900 billion stimulus package, and in that stimulus package funding, there is money allocated to the EIDL program. You see, the EIDL program was a program that has been around for quite a while, but it really got implemented in full steam back with the CARES Act in the spring of 2020, so the spring of last year. And with this EIDL program, it was said in the CARES Act that anybody who needed money, any business that was suffering due to COVID-19, due to the pandemic, would qualify for a free $10,000 plus the ability to apply for a low interest loan. This, of course, and as you may expect, was a hit, and a lot of business owners, a lot of gig workers, a lot of entrepreneurs applied for this $10,000 grant. Well, as a result, the SBA quickly revised this $10,000 and instead made it a $1,000 per employee up to $10,000. So if you were a sole proprietor, an independent contractor, or even just a single member LLC like myself, you no longer qualified for the full $10,000. You instead qualified for a free $1,000. Now, this caused a lot of issues, and I mean a lot of issues, because of the fact that lawmakers had made this law, had made the CARES Act surrounding around the idea of giving business owners a $10,000 grant. And the fact that the SBA swept in and changed the rules without lawmakers' permission caused a lot of issues, and a lot of people were really, really angry about it. In fact, there were a number of senators and Congress members that spoke out against the SBA, saying that it was not the SBA's place to come in and change the rules regarding the EIDL program, and they needed to come back and implement the full $10,000. Ultimately, this never ended up happening, and there are a few reasons for that. Number one, there was a ton of fraud with the EIDL program in the first round of funding. This was because the application process was very easy. It didn't ask for virtually any proof or any documents proving that your business existed, and it was extremely, extremely broad. This meant that there was a whole lot of people applying for the EIDL program, even though they really had no business applying for it. Secondly, the EIDL program only got a limited amount of funding, and because of this, it was really difficult for the SBA to not only distribute these loans, but it was also difficult, if not impossible, for the SBA to give out $10,000 to every single applicant that applied. And because of this, despite the fact that some lawmakers called on the SBA to change the rules back to how it was reflected in the CARES Act, it never happened. And in the entire time that the first round of EIDL funding was active, they only allowed for each entrepreneur to get $1,000 per employee up to $10,000. That is until this newest $900 billion stimulus package. You see, in this newest $900 billion stimulus package, it talks about this $10,000 grant. In fact, it says that if you qualify for the second round of EIDL funding, you are eligible to receive the rest of that $10,000. So for example, if you received EIDL funding in the first round of the EIDL grant and you received $2,000, and if you qualify for the second round of funding with the EIDL grant, then you could get that additional $8,000, making it the full $10,000. So by saying the statement of the EIDL $10,000 grant is back, that is true. It is back. But the problem is it is not guaranteed. You see, if you qualify for the second round of EIDL funding, you could get, and you most likely will get, the full $10,000 cash advance. But the big word that we need to emphasize here is if you qualify for the EIDL program, and that is simply not going to be everybody. You see, with this next round of EIDL funding, it isn't just simply EIDL funding, it is targeted EIDL funding. It is targeted EIDL funding targeted towards businesses and people that really need the money. And in order to prove that you really need the money, you need to meet a series of fairly strict criteria. You have to show that your business was formed before January 31st, 2020. You have to have 300 or less employees, which is fine for a lot of small-time entrepreneurs. You have to show that you have have had a 30% gross revenue decline in one quarter in 2020 compared to that exact same quarter in 2019. And you also have to come from a low income community. So again, in summary, is this $10,000 EIDL cash advance guaranteed? Absolutely not. It is not guaranteed. You can be denied the EIDL program for a slew of different reasons, including credit, including not having a business, including not having a business formed before January 31st, including not coming from a low income community, including not having a significant enough decline in order to align with the eligibility requirements outlined by lawmakers. There are a ton of different reasons as to why you could be declined. And the fact is that we still don't know a whole lot about the EIDL program either. Will there be a contingency put on the cash advance in order to be eligible for it? So will they make this $10,000 contingent on the approval and acceptance of the loan? We don't know the answer to that yet. And that could very well be yes, which means that not only will you have to meet the slew of financial requirements outlined by lawmakers, but you'll also have to meet what I assume will be a slew of requirements outlined by the SBA as well. The fact is, the SBA and lawmakers want this money to be available to people that need it. And I truly do believe that. I think that they want this money to go to businesses that need the money. But the unfortunate reality of the situation is that the first round of EIDL funding was a mess. And a big reason for that was because of the fact that there was people taking advantage of the program. There were a ton of people who were applying to the program and had no business claiming that they had a business that was eligible for the EIDL. And as a result, in the second round of funding, they've had to make it much more targeted. And because of this, there will be a ton of people that are denied the EIDL program altogether, and those that are approved will be the ones that get the full $10,000 cash advance. Ultimately, though, you guys, I wanted to make this video because I've been seeing more and more YouTubers out there claiming that this is a guaranteed $10,000 cash advance, and it simply is not true. A perfect example would be myself. I was eligible for and I received $1,000 from the CARES Act for the EIDL program. But in the second round of EIDL funding, I will not be eligible. I won't be eligible because I didn't show a 30% decline. I won't be eligible because I do not live in a low-income community. I most likely will not be eligible because I wouldn't accept the loan. There is a number of reasons why I would not be eligible in the second round of funding, despite the fact that I was eligible in the first round. So if you see anybody online claiming that this is a guaranteed $10,000, it simply is not true. It is not guaranteed. If you are approved, if you are eligible for this targeted EIDL cash advance, that is the only case in which you will receive the $10,000. And there is a lot of people that will qualify, but it is simply not going to be as many as in the first round. But with that being said, with more funding going to the EIDL program, there will be more opportunities for loans at a very low interest rate. There will be more opportunities to submit appeals and letters of reconsiderations because of the fact that the EIDL now has more funds. There will be more opportunities to get more money through the EIDL program. It just might not be through the cash advance option. But if you're somebody who is not sure if you will be eligible and you want to figure that out, then stay tuned for tomorrow's video. I will be walking you guys through an app that a company had sent me. It's a free app that you guys can access online, and it is a great tool that you can use in order to determine whether or not you are going to be eligible for this $10,000. It has you put in your zip code, where your business is located, what your numbers are, and then it determines whether or not you are eligible. It also allows for you to track your EIDL grant as well, so it is a perfect and super useful tool for anybody who is interested in EIDL funding. So make sure to stay tuned for that video tomorrow. Also, if you guys are interested in checking out some of the other videos I did on the EIDL program, I will include a bunch of them down in the description below. I spent a bunch of time last week breaking down this newest bill and talking about the different points with the EIDL program, and I did a pretty in-depth video on that last week that you guys should check out, so I will include a link to that down below. And while you guys are at it, I would love to hear your thoughts. If you have any questions, if you have any comments, if you have anything to add, make sure to leave a comment down below. I most likely will be doing another frequently asked questions video later this week, so if you have a question, make sure to leave a comment. And if you have any other questions that you don't want to leave a comment on, you can also find me on Instagram. My Instagram handle is aubrey.janik, so go give me a follow. And while you guys are at it, make sure to hit the like button, hit that subscribe button, and hit that notification bell. And I'll see you guys in the next video.